everyone, Jessie from the Scrappy Sisters. So in this video I am creating some homemade round embellishments that hopefully Katie will use on her scrapping layouts, but she might just include them as happy mail for somebody, not really sure. So basically I am using a paper pad, 6x6 paper pad collection. I've no idea what the paper pad is, I apologise. I stole it off my sister, possibly stamping up paper, possibly, don't even try and quote me on that, but it's all like tea bags, teacups. It's super cute. But anyway, you can see the colours there, so I'm just trying to colour match a little bit with my mostly Kaiser Craft acrylic paints, because I want to paint my own little backgrounds. So I've just colour matched quite a lot of paint. I don't use all of this, but I just was getting it ready. And I've got my paintbrush there, and I am going to do some crazy background painting. It has not got any rhyme or reason to it. It is not careful. It is just everything everywhere. So I'm starting off with my darkest colour first. So just popping it on. This is an awful paintbrush. It is really streaky. The hairs are really coarse and oh, it's awful. It's even awful when I give it to poor Jack to paint with. It's an awful paintbrush. I really need to invest in some better ones. So a little bit of white now. Obviously I know I just said I'm starting with my darkest colour first, but the purple in the paper pad is actually that really beautiful light purple, not this really dark colour that I've used. And the dark colour is pretty, and I'm obviously going to keep it, but that's why I had the white with the purple together, because I wanted to put a lighter colour in there. So now I'm popping in my really bright touches of bright yellow. As you can see from some of the smudges, none of the paint's dry yet. I'm just chucking it all on top of each other, not being very careful. Also, as you can see, I'm not having a palette. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just putting blobs of paint straight onto my brush. If you're interested to know the exact names of the colours, please just give me a hoy down below and I will look them up for you. I'm currently not anywhere near my scrap space, so I can't even attempt to tell you off the top of my head. Obviously they're a tealy colour, but they're two different ones because there's a light one and a dark one. They are the Kaiser Craft brand, the ones that are like 4 for $10 or something along those lines. But yes, more than happy to let you know the exact colours if you would like to just leave me a comment down below and I'll tell you so. So these are totally and utterly inspired by the amazing Alice, who has started her own Instagram. Oh no, not started her own Instagram. She has an Instagram. Has started her own YouTube channel as well. I don't know if she's got these on her YouTube channel. I saw them on her Instagram. She's incredible. She's so talented. She doesn't do scrapbooking. She does paper crafting and happy mails and embellishments and just amazing things. She's just super talented. So her Instagram account is I am absolutely Alice, and her YouTube account is just absolutely Alice, and she's Alice Wilkes, and she's just amazing. You should totally check her out. So as you can see, I'm just doing random splotches of colour all over everywhere. Everything's still wet still, and I'm just going to pop some Heidi Shine on top with a spritz. I'm going to squirt it because I just want like a glossy, shiny, spray golden mess on top. That makes it sound awful, but it's not. It looks gorgeous. I'm really happy with how this turns out. Actually, it looks really cool. And so I think it's even still wet. I don't know why I still have it on my page while it's so, like on my scrap table while it's so wet. I've got other things to do. So I've pulled out a pack of Kaiser Craft die cuts, something about a Fiesta, I think these ones are called. These are old. I doubt you could still get them in store. I've never used them. They've been sitting in my stash for a bazillion years. And I decided that some of the flower colours would work with the pattern paper I want to use. You can see there off to the left, I've got a die cut set as well. They are from the Reject Shop. Possibly you could still get those ones, but they're a little bit old too. They're last year. But I decided I'd use these Fiestas, I think, instead. I like the colours. They're a little bit smaller. I don't want things that are quite as big as what's in the other die packs over there. So I'm just digging through the whole collection to see what can I use, what might be usable. I know I don't need many. I'm not making a stack of homemade embellishments. I think I only go for about 6. But I just, yeah, I want to try and limit. I want to put all the big things away, limit what I've got, just to make life a little bit easier. So, going through and picking out my first piece of pattern paper I want to work with. I don't believe this is a longer video, because it's a little bit fiddly making these embellishments, but I don't believe I make you watch every little thing. I think I do for the first one, just so you can get the idea of what I'm doing and how I do it. But then I think that I just skip ahead and show you some of the finished products. So touch wood. So you can see I've pulled out the diamond press. I do have a Sizzix Big Shot, but for this project I only want a small dyed circle anyway. And I love the diamond press that can just be on your desk and it doesn't really get in the way. It's no bigger than, you know, the drink bottle I've got sitting up there anyway. So that I really love. I finally decided to move that wet sheet of paper. I don't know what I was thinking. So I've pulled out my layered circle dies, as you can see. I've also pulled out what looks like my alphabet die, which it is my alphabet die. But stuck at the bottom of my alphabet die is some more layered circles, and a couple of them are smaller than the ones that I have here, and I think I might want to use those. So I'm umming and ahhing about what size to make these round embellishments. I don't want them too big because you can't really use them. I find when I'm scrapbooking, if they're super huge, I won't put them on my page. They're too big. So I just realized, having a look at those dies as well, that they won't fit through the diamond press anyway, and that is also a key indicator that it's too big for what I'm going for. So that helped make the decision as to what size the circle should be, which is great. That's what I wanted. So I'm starting off by cutting my piece of pattern paper out of the smallest die that I chose. I have no idea what size it would be. An inch? I honestly have no idea. I'm sorry. I just picked one compared to the size of the embellishments that I've got there, the flowers that I've got there. And so you can see here I've got the Jen Hatfield scalloped washi tape that I try putting through my diamond press, and I do run it through more than once, but it doesn't cut through. So I still just end up going around with the scissors. It's still helpful because there's definitely an indent and definitely a circle there. So instead of freehanding it or having to trace, like there's nothing to trace it on really, it still made sure the circle was pretty perfect. So it was still helpful running it through the diamond press, but it didn't actually cut it, which was a bit of a shame. But yeah, so I cut out a circle as well, and I've just cut that circle in half, and I'm popping that down onto my piece of pattern paper. And then I've got some gold. This, I don't know what you'd call this. It's obviously thread, but it's from Stamping Up. I think I got it last advent calendar off Katie. It comes in gold. You can get copper. I think you can get silver. You might even be able to get metallic red and green at Christmas time. I think you could last year. Anyway, I only have the gold and I love it. And I am just making a bundled mess, and I'm really struggling. I am really struggling with this bundled mess. Missy Whidden does it all the time. It just makes it look so easy. So I don't know if it's this particular thread. I don't know if I didn't get enough of the thread, because I'm a bit tight. I don't want to put too much, like use too much, because I'll run out, and it's beautiful thread and I want to keep it. I want it for every project. So in the end, I just kind of piece it piece by piece onto the double-sided tape on the back. It was just a bit of a disaster. I think at one stage I even like grrr at the camera with my hands because I'm struggling so much. So I'm now just having a fiddle with the flower embellishments. Now I knew that most of these were too large. or not too large, sorry. Obviously I went through and tried to pick the ones that were small, but I knew that some of them were still larger than I wanted. So I end up really cutting into my ephemera here. And I take this flower cluster that I've got here, might not even do it with this particular one, so I shouldn't say that, but and then I cut them up still into like 3 or 4 different embellishments. So I used, yeah, because they were just too large. I wanted them to be smaller. I didn't want the flower to take up the whole entire circle I'd just cut out. So you can see there I've got this one that I cut off that tag. I'm going to pop it up on some foam, so it's got a little bit of dimension. And as I said to you earlier, I hope this isn't too like boring and repetitive for you, but I really just wanted to show you the process I go through for this first one, and then I will skip a lot of the others and just show you the finished product. I really want to put a tiny word phrase onto this, but these Tim Holtz stickers, they're all too big. They're phrases, of course, and there's too much going on, so I end up getting homemade ones that I made myself. If you've been a follower, a subscriber of ours, I've shared these before. I'm more than happy to share them again. If you send me a email, I'm more than happy to shoot them out to you. They are a PDF that I created. They just say the same thing in like 4 different fonts, because it just depends on what font I like. They probably, in my opinion, they probably need updating with a few different, better words, but you can see the ones that are there. They're not bad words. They're good. I guess I'm just bored of them because I've had these for a long time, a year, 2 years now, and I still haven't used them all. There's like 4 pages worth, so there's a lot. Oh, now I finished that first one when I put that sticker on. That was it's not a sticker. I didn't print them onto sticker paper. I just printed them onto paper, card stock, and I cut and stick them out. So this time I'm making like a rosette, but a fake one. It's not done properly. I've just scrunched up the yellow tissue paper and just joining it together with a big blob of double-sided tape in the center, because I know that's going to be covered. At the moment also I know that this is too big, but I'm just rolling with it until I get the look that I'm going for. So I do a big yellow tissue paper, and then I do a slightly smaller pink tissue paper rosette as well, and pop that into the center. I do get faster at these as I get going. I find sometimes with homemade embellishments I am a bit slow taking off. I'm like trying to think of different things to do and different ways to present the embellishing, because you don't want them all exactly the same. But then once you sort of get on a bit of a roll, it gets a little bit easier. So just trimming it down a little. They are still a little bit too big. They'll need more trimming after this. So I'm going to layer those on top of each other. The yellow is very bright. I'm just looking at the colours against the splotch paint that I did earlier, because don't worry, that's coming back. I'm doing this sort of in sections because that paint hadn't quite dried when I first started. It's dry now though, because as you can see from my light, this is a different time of day. These embellishments, they did take me a while, but they didn't actually take that long. I just had quite a lot of interruptions this day, so there was no way I could just sit down and complete it all in one go. So here I am hacking into another embellishment cluster of flowers. I don't want the size that it is, and that whole cluster will end up doing 2 or 3 of my round embellishments. I actually think I'm in my pajamas in this one. I look like bananas in pajamas in these striped pajamas, but they're comfy. They were hubby's. I think he bought them for a dress up. Possibly like maybe a book week or something. Oh, I don't know. Raving on. For those of you that have a diamond press, you can see mine has totally, like my embossing folder, well, not embossing folder, the thing that you put in between the die is like so curled up and so crazy, but it all still works. I really try and get my use out of it before I pull out the next new one. So it's just using a little bit of scraps of the Jane Hatfield washi tape when I cut that circle out to cut out a little heart. Again, I still ran it through the diamond press even though it didn't actually cut properly, and still had to cut it again with my scissors. It just gives me the outline so perfectly I don't have to try and freehand it. So now I'm just popping on another word phrase. Word phrase, that's not even proper English, oh my goodness. This one actually is almost a sentence though, almost a phrase. It's got more than one word on it, which means I'm almost finished once if I'm putting this on. I think I pull out a little bit of gold thread as well. So I do give these all similar elements in that they've obviously all got the same embellishment family, so same from the same ephemera pack, and then they all have some gold thread and they all have a word phrase, just to show that they're like a series or a collection that goes together. Because when we get out my beautiful painted paper, you will see that it definitely all matches and ties in with each other. So just putting on the gold thread now, and then I think I'm about to skip forward. So you've seen me create 2, and then I think we're going to skip ahead and show you some finished products. So hopefully I'll be back in a minute. So I think that I am finished, and so I cut out circles from my beautiful painted paper in a slightly larger circle, and I ended up cutting 8. So I then just get my beautifully made other embellishment circles, the ones that you saw the 2 processes for, and stick those onto my coloured circles. And you can see from this view how gorgeous the gold spritz looks, and the effect that that gold spritz has, and why the messy paint job actually looks really, really cool when you see it all put together. So I'm just sticking on my 6 little circles, and I'm going to jump ahead in a sec and realize that, oh sorry, not 6, 8 little circles. So here they are. Here are the finished ones, all nice and up close. So I had originally only made 6, that's why I keep saying that, but when I cut out 8 circles from the pattern paper or the painted paper, I ended up making 2 more to make 8, because I didn't want to waste any of the beautiful painted paper, and I wasn't sure what I'd do with the circles otherwise. So you can see they're all a little bit different, but they're all also the same. Oh, dropped one. I have photos at the end as well if you'd like to see some still shots. It might be a little bit better to see. I was really happy with how these turned out. I thought they were really cute. So hopefully Katie can use them in her scrapbooking. Oh, sorry, that one's very close. Yeah, I just really loved them. So here are the 8 photographs so that you can see how they look. Yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying our advent calendar series. It is always quite a challenge getting 24 days worth of videos and embellishments and paper craft things ready to go, but it is always so much fun. Obviously Katie does 12 and I do 12. I don't have to do all 24, but still it's a bit of work, but we love December, and hopefully you enjoy watching it and hearing our excitement as we each open up our amazing presents. So you can see here more of them together, so you can get the idea of how they are cohesive with each other and sort of go together, but they are a little bit different. They are quite bright and colourful. I'm not 100% sure they're Katie colours, but they're cool. Hopefully she can use them, or as I said, she might just pop them into Happy Mail to gift to someone else who will love them. Check out Alice's Instagram and YouTube channel. As I said, these were inspired by her. So stick around for our next video. Thanks everyone. Bye!